Greetings, space travelers. Welcome home. You've just tuned your dial to Spaced Out Radio, the only place where you can own the night. I am your host, Mr. Rob G. And tonight we're broadcasting to you on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, KPNL, and Odyssey Radio. Remember, you can access our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, please consider tapping that little subscribe button. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Spaced Out Radio, at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where the options are endless. You can stay up to date with the SOR Newswire, get some official Spaced Out swag, plus rock out to some Bumblefoot, and so much more. You know how we do it. So here we go, Sunday, after hours, end of the weekend, getting ready for that work week. It's always that transitional period where you love it, but you hate it, right? It's like you're getting the last few remnants of the weekend into your system, trying to build up the strength for that work week. I know some of our viewers over in Australia have already begun that work week, so you guys are like at the end of your day. So welcome to everybody. Let me go ahead and jump into the Chizat. Let's see who came in first. Actually, looks like Jennifer Patterson gets the gold, Mary R gets the silver, and Race Fan gets that bronze. That's how we're going to do it today. Let me go ahead and welcome everybody else on in here, because it's always a great time when you guys show up. Jennifer Patterson saying hi, guys. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us tonight. Spaced Out Radio After Hours. We appreciate you. We have Mary R. Augie Nast is amazing. He also has an amazing book out. Don't miss this one. I would agree. Definitely don't miss this one. We're definitely going to be getting into some great conversation. I can sense it. I think we're going to have a great conversation today. Learn a lot, as we always do. Race Fan saying good evening, Rob. Good evening, Race Fan. Thank you for coming on in. Let's see. We got Woo Child saying hello with the wavy hand emoji. We have Dino Bravo Fan saying, oh no, midnight hour, don't leave me alone. All right, I hear you. We're with you. We're with you, Dino Bravo Fan. Thanks for coming on in. We do have Jerry Lahane saying, hit the thumbs up. How dare you? I like that. Please, if you haven't already done so. I know sometimes I forget as well. I hop into a video and I don't think about the like button, even though I'm enjoying the content. So if you haven't already, take a second, take a moment to go ahead and hit that like button so we can get it up to 100, at least 100 likes pretty early today. I think it's going to be an awesome informational show today, or at least I will give my all to make sure that is the case. Have a couple fun things that we'll be doing today too for hour 3. You might be able to guess what that is. All I'll say is get your fingers ready, and you just never know, right? So, with that being said, who do we got next? We got Paul Damon. This that Woo Train ? This is the Woo Train. Yeah. The Sunday, the weekend edition. The weekend edition, for sure. Thanks for coming on in, Paul Damon. And let's see. All right. We got who else? Tomorrow Man, Woo Tribe. That's right. Tomorrow Man, thanks for coming on in. We appreciate you. We got JSCO77 showing love. Had an awesome conversation with JSCO77 last night, along with Major Lee. Welcome to the show, as you know him in chat. We have great call-in episodes over there at the Social Dig. You gotta come over if you haven't done so. Real deep conversations over there, and think you guys would enjoy it. Who else do we have here? We have Lars Jansen saying good morning all. Good morning, Lars Jansen. Good morning. And who else do we have? Paranormal Pixie Laura saying good evening, space travelers, with the alien head emoji, which, that reminds me, thanks for putting that emoji there, Paranormal Pixie Laura, because if you look right up there, this alien head emoji, this is the Rob G alien head emoji. You can get this on your t-shirts. We even have some draws over there the Castle Dude is supposed to be picking up. We have hoodies, all sorts of things with the Rob G alien head logo. You got to go get one over at spacedoutradio.com/shop, where the options are endless when it comes down to the official swag, because we don't have ugly swag, and as Dave said, you'll be able to wear this outside no problem. And yeah, so let's go ahead and hop on over there and pick one up and hopefully bring it to Reno. Let's see, who else do we have here? We have Dragonfly. Evening all. Evening Dragonfly. Thank you for coming on in. We have Eternity Eternal. Hi, Rob G. Hi, Eternity Eternal. Thanks for coming on in tonight. Appreciate you. We have Cosmo Fang. Thank you for coming on in, Cosmo Fang. Saying, hey, Paul, and seems like you might be a new name. If you are, welcome to Spaced Out Radio. We do appreciate you coming on over and taking a look at what it is that we're doing. You know, we are truthfully, let me stop and make this service announcement real quick, this PSA, right? We have been growing recently here at Spaced Out Radio, and it's been a great thing, a great experience. A lot of new people have been coming in. We appreciate each and every one of you. We welcome you into the chat. You see, we have an awesome we have an awesome chat here that we engage with. And last time I checked, let me go ahead and tell you what this is up to the moment, actually. If you give me just a moment. So up to the moment, Spaced Out Radio is at 24,996 subscribers. So we are 4 away from hitting 25K. If you have not subscribed, let's try to go ahead and do that. That would be awesome. What, 4 subs? Can we get 4 subs before we even get this show going so we can celebrate, right? Celebrate the growth. I mean, that means the message is getting out there. People are liking what they see when they come in, they interact with the chat. So it's shout out to all you guys. But maybe we can get to 25K. I'm going to, as I talk here, I'm going to let it go for a little bit. Maybe we can get those 4 that we need really quickly. Don't worry about it. We'll just wait for a moment. And then we'll pick up right where we left off. Because this would be awesome to be able to do this tonight. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and refresh. Oh, 24,997. Can we pick up 3? 3 of you out there who have not subscribed. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get to 25K right here, right now. Right in this moment. And that will set the stage for the show for tonight. The awesomeness of what we're doing here tonight. Still 24,997. Okay, so I'm gonna bring everybody else back up in here, and we'll do a spot check throughout the night. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. Who we have here? We have Jennifer Patterson. Woohoo! Thank you for coming in, Jennifer Patterson. We appreciate you. We have Ginger Turtle 43. Happy Sunday, everyone. Jessica Jones sent me here. We do appreciate it. I just was watching the Cryptid Huntress over there with their guest showing some awesome photos of Bigfoot. Yeah, so if you missed that, then yeah, you're missing it. So you need to go ahead and go back and check out the episode from tonight. Remember, she's on Sundays, 7 p.m. Pacific until 8. And then that's where we come in at 8 p.m. Pacific, take you through to 11 p.m. Pacific, and finish your night off like that. So awesome sauce. Thank you for coming in, Ginger Turtle 43. We have Gaia Love 1 saying hello, everyone. Hello, Gaia Love 1. Thank you for coming. Whoa, Area 51 back in the building, back to back. We love that, Area 51. Appreciate you coming on in. Cool intro. We appreciate that. Let's see. Who else do we have? Christine saying, good evening, sweet Robbie G. Good evening, Christine. Do appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. We have Foxy Joe saying hello to Mothman. Seems like another new name. If you're new, welcome to the show tonight, Foxy Joe. We appreciate you. If you haven't hit that sub button, hit that sub and help us get to 25K. We might be able to do this tonight. We were 3 away. Let me take a look here. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Let me stop the press. Spaced Out Radio is at 25,000. Wonderful, awesome subscribers. So let's go ahead and give it up for Dave Scott, Spaced Out Radio, Jessica Jones, Mr. Rob G, the After Hours, Off the Trails, the whole team, Kira, everybody out there who makes this go, Dirty Filth, the behind the scenes, Kat, Justin, everybody who, Terry Hall, right? The GOAT, Terry Hall. Let's give it up for everybody who is involved in this wonderful, wonderful channel. Give it on up. We do appreciate everybody who participates in this. And this can only happen, obviously, with viewers like yourself. So give yourself a round of applause as well for showing your love and support of Spaced Out Radio. We did it. We hit 25K. We are there. And we couldn't have done it without you guys. So awesome. Awesome. That just pumps up the energy for the night. We're going to have an awesome show. Let's get it in. Let's go. Cryptid Search. Hi, y'all. Thank you for coming on in, Cryptid Search. Appreciate you showing up. Great night to show up. Stargazer. Hello, folks. Long time no see. Thank you for coming on in, Stargazer. We do appreciate you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Brown Dwarf. Good evening. Good evening right back to you, Brown Dwarf. Thank you for coming in tonight. Let's see. Little Cam 51. 2 + 2 = words. I like that. I like that. Appreciate you coming on in, Little Cam 51. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have Facebook user. Good evening, Rob. Good evening, Facebook user. Thank you for joining us from Facebook. We totally appreciate you showing up. Let's see. We have Mike Rivers. Hiya. Hiya, all. I'm looking forward to this show. It should be good. Hello, Mr. Rob G. Hey, Mike Rivers. Thank you for coming on in. It should be an awesome show tonight. You know, we like to try to wrap it up on these Sundays and kind of button it up. And that's what we're going to try to do tonight. Philip Baca, thanks for coming in. Welcome to Aage Nost. Okay, I got you. That's funny. And I did it for you, right? I did it for you live on the air. We're at 25K, so anything goes tonight. Anything goes tonight. Let's do it. Aloha Dave 13. Buenos noches de Mexico. Good evening from Mexico. Good evening right back to you. Aloha Dave. We do appreciate you coming in tonight. Christine, Rob G, did the shadow leave you alone? Let's just say I got through the night. It was fine. It was fine. Thank you for checking in, Christine. I do appreciate you. Let's see. We got Renee Cruz in the building saying, "Sup, UFO blood." What's up, Renee Cruz? Right back to you. Renee Cruz, how about them Niners, though? How about those Niners? I had a really excellent time drinking the tears of all the Niner fans as we watched that fantastic Super Bowl game. Shout out to Renee Cruz. Thanks for coming in. We got Poncho Zork stepped in the building. I've got a crush on Sasquatch. Oh, okay. All right. I hear you. Let's see. Who else do we have? Let's go. Let's keep going. Who else do we have? Looks like we are probably... Oh, we're getting close here. We have Juliana McGill in the building. Mr. Rob G. I like that. Thanks for coming in. And I did say your name, Poncho Zork, but I'm going to say it again because you're asking. Say my name. Poncho Zork is in the building. Thanks for coming in, Poncho Zork. Jane's Coffee. Hi, lovely peeps. Hi, Jane's Coffee. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. And I'm moving down the list. Looks like we're getting close to the bottom. Let's see. Yeah, we are 3. I'm going to keep that up. I see 25K subs. And it's just, we'll talk about it later. But I'm excited about it. And you guys should really feel a part of this because you're definitely a part of this, a big part. Let's see. Philip Blair, what about area 1 through 50? Good question. I like that, Philip Blair. We might have to look into that. Lightwalkers, hey y'all. Hey Lightwalkers, thanks for coming on in. Let's see. Okay. Gory Tiger, what's up? Hey, Gory Tiger, thanks for coming on in. We appreciate you. Leafy Nebula, hey. Right back at you, Leafy Nebula. Thanks for showing up tonight and celebrating with us. Thank you. We do appreciate you. Christine, she's saying, thanks to all who just subbed. We do appreciate all you guys, man. I'm telling you. We are going to raise the bar here. It's going to get better and better and better and better. And I vow to do that every day that I can try to affect what's going on here. So you can bet that. Susie 2020. Hi, smart man. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in, Susie 2020. We appreciate you. Supernova. Thanks for coming on in. Wow. We're being joined by a lot of people tonight. This is awesome. Who do we got here? Let me move this out the way. We have Van Gold. Hey, Rob and SOR fam. We appreciate you. SG Nav Spotter 310. Thanks for coming in. This is just a lot of love. Let's see. Okay. Okay, flat six just showed up. Appreciate you coming in. Hello, hey SORians, we appreciate you. Let's see. Okay, we are current. Thank you so much for being patient as we welcomed each and every one of you guys in because you guys are, like I said before, the reason why this thing goes, the reason why we feel the motivation to come out here and do this on a nightly basis. Uh, um, Renee Cruz is crazy. Thank you. Doug Shelby, Mr. Rob G. Like I said, we do this for you guys. And the fan party is just another step towards that. And man, I'm so glad to be here in this moment that we're in. If you recall, we hit quietly. I think I announced it on After Hours, but we hit 24K maybe a couple months ago, right? We were just celebrating 24K. And this quickly, we are already at 25K. And it just shows the appreciation that you guys are showing with the content that we're doing. So I just, man, you just don't understand how it makes me feel, especially to, be a part of helping this thing out, man. It's just fantastic feeling. Can't wait to reach out to Dave Scott and let him know where we're at. Hopefully he's watching tonight. If you are Dave, 25K, baby, let's take it. Let's take it to 30. Let's get to 30. All right. So with that being said, feeling real good tonight. Feeling real good tonight. We have a fantastic guest that we're going to go ahead and bring in right now here. It's Augie Nast. He's an author, researcher, who has a star named after him, which is pretty awesome. So we'll get to ask him about that. And I want you guys to have your questions ready, right? Let's make this a really good interactive show. Any questions that you guys are going to have for our guests, make sure to put them in caps, and I will try to tag each one of them that I see. We'll rock with Augie through hour 2, and then in hour 3, we'll do something fun, right? It's 25K. Hey, let's have some fun today, all right? We're going to do that. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring on our guest for tonight, Augie Nast. Thank you so much for joining us today, Augie. How are you?
I'm doing well, and in the words of Spock, live long and prosper.
That is right, and we do appreciate you coming in. Kira, thanks for coming in. I just want to let you know, Kira, we just hit 25K. We just had a little celebration for that. So if you wouldn't mind letting the team know that we made this milestone, that would be awesome. And welcome, Kira. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, Augie. So I looked into, a lot of the stuff that you do, and I know you're one of the main things that you like to talk about, and I do as well, is the consciousness aspect of this whole phenomenon. So I'm gonna definitely want to get into that, but if you wouldn't mind starting out with what brought you into this field, what kind of gained your interest, and what led you up to where you're at today.
In this subject, you're talking about the extraterrestrials or time travel or all of it,
All of it.
maybe?
All of it,
Okay.
exactly.
Oh, gosh. I think that started way back in the Dark Ages, back in Europe, before I came to the United States. I was probably about 11, maybe 12, when I saw something in the sky that shouldn't be there, and I got to think about it. If they're moving through the skies like this, and there's no wings or engines on this thing, why doesn't it fall out of the sky? There's got to be some electromagnetic shielding from the gravity. And I put together this UFO detector. I built it around a compass because I figured if the ships are moving through the air and there is an anti, or should I say, gravity nullification effect on it, it should create ripples in the Earth magnetic field.
Oh,
And
awesome.
yeah, so I built it around this compass, with wirings and go through a bell and stuff. And Yes, it worked. I saw it. I remember it ringing 3 times that I knew of. And then when I was at school, and my mom came and asked me, what is this thing up in your room there, ringing? And so I had to tell her. And I, the 2 times that I saw something when the bell went off, I went outside, had binoculars, and I was looking around, and I found something. Those were also what we call UFOs. They one of them was a long kind of cigar shaped, but it was more like maybe a little triangular effect to it. And another one was also a light out there. So that's when I really got born into that there's more to this universe than what we are being told. So I started digging and digging and became a kind of an oddball in the neighborhood because a lot of the stuff I wanted to talk about, the neighbors didn't want to talk about. So, kind of like now.
Yeah, it's getting
But
better, but
yeah, and I grew up on that farm, and I figured it out that I didn't want to be a farmer all my life. So at age of 25, I left Norway and came to the United States to become a commercial pilot. And I did that, and I flew for 23 years. We had a flight school, international air taxi, and an air courier. And when you fly as much as I did, you see stuff. You see stuff in the air that should not be there. And I had many occasions like that.
wow, that's interesting. So, yeah, I mean that obviously be one of the first questions I want to know. So I guess just to go back a little bit, so the craft that you said you saw, the cigar shaped craft, was what year was this roughly, if do you recall?
I was about 11, so God, I hate to give this away, but it was probably around 1957.
Wow. So I mean, because and the reason why I ask is just because obviously, it's a lot more convoluted and the waters are more muddied now today because we have different tech that skeptics can go to try to explain away what it is that we're seeing. But I'd say probably obviously they have tech that they say is 20, 30 years ahead of what's actually out. And I believe that, but those sorts of things, if they are reverse engineering those or if they are designing craft that look like these cigar shaped things, I don't think they would have been there prior, pre 1980. So, that's why I like to point it out because it just shows that the same things that people are talking about today have been being seen since the 50s,
Yeah,
60s, and even earlier than that.
absolutely. And we got stories coming out of Texas, the Aurora incident
Oh,
in
yeah.
1893 or something. And when there was a cigar shaped ship that came down and crashed and knocked over a windmill, and there was
Oh, I heard
laying
about
right there.
that.
Yeah. So it's been around for a long time. And the people that see it, their life changes.
Yeah.
Once they realize what they saw, their life changes. They their first toe goes out of the box. They gotta you gotta go out there and see more of it because it is exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree because and I feel a bit bad about, there's a group of us, not including me because I actually had a sighting, but within our community, there's a percentage of us who haven't seen anything. But those people do understand that there is something out there and there's something to this, but they live their day to day without having that experience, right? Because just like you said, once you have that experience and it's no longer a question, it's your confirmation at that point that there's definitely something to this sightings. and kind of makes you want to dig deeper into what this is. And I'm
Yeah.
kind of where you're at there. So, what type of so aside from that, obviously that's pretty wild to have seen what you saw in the 50s there. What do you think if you had to guess, what do you think this is all about? A lot of people have different reasons why they think these things are visiting, why they're here. What is your perspective on that? What do you think about it?
Well, first of all, they've been here a very long time, and for the second is they are already here, walking among us. They're walking down the street next to you, and you will never know it because many of them looks just like us. They're here for try to figure out and learn from us about our society because there is a planned integration. And I think there are many of those that maybe not permanently live here. They need to know more, so they're better suited at doing that. And then again, we have the abductees, they have their stories. And I think many of those abductees, they think that there were aliens that did it. Well, yeah, maybe it was, but maybe not. In some of those abductee stories, the abductee, well, in one case, he found himself alone in the room. He got off of the table and walked down a corridor, and he saw military uniforms, Earth military uniforms on some of the people. So there is a cooperation between the dark side of the military and the extraterrestrials. And how far that goes back, I don't know. I think it probably went back all the way to about 1940, 42, when they came and made an agreement with Adolf Hitler
Okay.
because they were giving him advice.
Yeah, I've heard that aspect of it too.
Yeah,
And that they designed was a Die Glock, and that was, supposedly a result of the interaction between Hitler and the extraterrestrials.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, and it probably goes back further than that. So we had Tim Gallaudet recently at the end of 2023 kind of stamped the end of the year by saying that not only did we have retrieved craft and biologics, but he went a step further to actually say that even that our government is actually also in contact with these beings. And that's because that's a big deal, right? Because if they are, then that means that there's likely a chance that these ETs have given us information that or ultimatums, or even as far as like getting rid of nuclear weapons or things that we need to do before they are going to allow us to join this galactic federation or whatever the people call it. But then if they aren't, there's still a whole side to that because I, what is your outlook on that? I mean, I'm torn between the two because I could see it going either way, that they don't talk to the government at all and the government just has no clue about why they're here, but the government understands they can't stop them from doing the things that they're doing, like abductions and things of that nature, which is why they won't talk. But then I could also see how it would be if they have actually been in contact with them. But that's scary because, like I say, if the ETs have given them ultimatums on timelines when we need to get rid of nuclear weapons, or, they're kind of speaking for the rest of humanity, the select few making choices that could affect the future of all of humanity. So, how do you feel about that?
well, I first of all, I'm going to say something about all the people that is worried about an alien invasion is going to come and take Earth over. I want you to think about something. If they've been around a long time, if they wanted to take over Earth and do away with us, they would have done that hundreds of years ago, when back then we would not be able to shoot them out of the sky.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they're all friendly.
Right. Right.
There
Right. Right.
is, yeah, there is some people out there saying the extraterrestrials are all friendly. Well, yeah, hopefully, but I kind of doubt it because of all the testimonies from abductees. The violation of their rights, violation of the body, violation of just about anything. They just come in through the wall, take them out through the wall onto the ship and do experiments with them. That is not really all that cool.
You can say that again, but and then see that, and I'm with you on that because I do feel like there's definitely a portion of these ETs don't have our best interests at heart, and I, and we don't know the answers. Obviously, we're just kind of talking our way through this, but
Yeah.
there could be an element of these ETs that are benevolent that could be protecting us from the malevolent ones, right?
Yep.
Possibly.
Absolutely.
When you say that they're walking amongst us, I had a few different ideas of that. So there's obviously a species of extraterrestrial that people say are undiscernible from humans, like you can't tell the difference, and they say those are the ones that walk amongst us. I also feel like, with the consciousness aspect, is it possible that that they are able to download almost like if you, and I bring this up often, but if you think about the Matrix and how the agents are able to take over a person and turn into that person, like is it that sort of thing where they're almost hijacking the consciousness and then being able to assimilate with us and walk amongst us, or are these the actual physical beings themselves that are the ones that are walking amongst us? If you had to
Yeah.
guess, what would you say?
Well, there is some evidence to that they are actually working with extraterrestrial beings and they have contact. If you go to the FBI website, there is a place called UFO Groups. And this document, I don't remember the number on it, but it is it's called the Smoking Gun Document. And it is an FBI document where it says that, yes, we know the extraterrestrials are here and we are working with them, and most of them are interdimensionals. So it's on their website.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's not just the United States. It's probably most countries in the world have these kinds of contacts.
Yeah.
Medvedev, the president at the time of Russia, he was asked at the very tail end of an interview, what can you tell us about the aliens? And he thought the microphone was off and the interview was over, but it wasn't. It was running. And he said, oh, yeah, he says, when we take office, we get this dossier, that's a file. And in there, he says, it's explaining to us where they are, what they are, and how we can work with them. And but we can't talk about it because we're afraid the people will panic. Now, the person that ran the interview, they thought it was so interesting. They ran the whole thing on Russian TV. So it went out to the people over there. But, of course, nothing like that here.
Yeah, yeah, and so do you think that because obviously it would pretty much we can say for almost a fact that the United States government won't be ever disclosing this information. So I guess two parts to this. Do you feel that maybe there would be another nation? I mean, because I know there's already been nations that have come out and released their files everything they have
Yeah,
on UFOs. So there are examples of that, but do you think one of the big power players, like a Russia, I mean, Russia kind of did too already, but do you
they
think that
did.
one of these countries will take the lead and step out on the podium and make this announcement in front of the world? Do you think there's any countries that are in line to do that?
Yeah, I'm not so sure Russia is the right country to do that right now because it doesn't matter what they say. The media here is going to say, "Oh, they're lying."
Mm,
So
China
I
too,
think
probably. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that it's going to come from the extraterrestrials themselves
Yeah.
because knowledge is power. As long as the government have the knowledge, they have the power. And on top of that, for what you see unfolding right now, we're being led down the path. There is a plan behind this so-called disclosure. And that plan is that they're going to condition the people's mind to start accepting that, yeah, I guess there is extraterrestrials after all. And we better be really scared because they're coming to take us over. That's going to be the playbook. They are going to scare the crap out of us so they can implement a governmentally sanctioned program called Project Bluebeam.
Right.
And
Right.
that is the fake alien invasion.
Hmm.
There,
I've always had a problem with the fake alien invasion. Just the theory, because I always often say that I think figuring out a lot of this takes only common sense in a lot of cases and logic when we break this all down. The thing I have an issue with the fake alien invasion is if the government is in contact with these ETs, would the ETs allow them to do that? Right? Would the ETs allow, because if they're talking, then they have discussed the ETs idea of what disclosure should be and how it should go, and maybe even timelines on when they think it should happen. So if they're having those sort of conversations, then would the ETs really just sit back and allow the government to pull off a false invasion? This is one of the things I think about when that is brought up. What do you think about that?
well, that's good thinking. You got to remember that for the US government to be working with someone, they have to be the bad guys. There is
Okay.
no other choice. Otherwise, they were contacted in 1947. The American government was contacted, and the ET told them that, hey, we can help you fix your health problems. We can create a wonderful society and show you how to do it. And they turned them down.
Right.
Yeah, we had a president that actually ended up doing that. But now, if you look at Project Bluebeam, chances are that the extraterrestrials that the U.S. government is working with maybe have they maybe have helped them some of the holographic technology that they need in order to create this thousands of ships in the sky all around the world. This is a government sanctioned program. There is a document on the CIA website. I think you can go to the reading room actually and you can find it. You got to poke around a little bit because somebody told me that they were moving it around, but it's there. So this is a real program. And if this happened, you wake up one morning and look up in the sky and there's thousands of ships up there. No, the first wave of ships are not your friends. The second wave, they are your friends. Because the second wave are the extraterrestrials that now they realize that we know there are extraterrestrials, so now they can come in and they can help. They come in and clean up because within the holographic structure of all these ships, there's going to be some real flying saucers. And they're going to shoot at things on the ground to create fear among the people. So they're going to run to the government and say, please protect us. And the government's going to tell them, yes, we need to protect you. So we are going to create a one world government and everybody unite together so we can fight this alien threat. Watch for it.
Yeah, and I hear that, and my thing is that okay, so what version? So we know there's different species of ETs. It would just the question I would have at that point would be, what species of ETs would stand by to allow that to take place? If the ETs are here to help humanity ascend and reach a higher frequency, then would they complicitly be involved with the government suppress or continuing the suppression of the people and going forward with something like a one world government? It seems like a certain group of ETs probably would, and those would be the malevolent ones, the ones that are up to no good, that would probably strike those sort of deals with the government. And I could see that happening for sure on a level. But when you hear a lot of people talk about the benevolent ones, would there be a situation where they would stand by to let that happen? Or do you think that maybe that's where an actual conflict would potentially break out between maybe the ETs good and bad, or the good ETs versus the bad, and then our governments? Or it just seems like it'd be a recipe for something like that to happen. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Well, we don't really know. We know that there is this non-interference law or policy.
Yeah,
Look what they have allowed to happen so far.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have not interfered.
yeah,
They allowed millions of people to die from this thing that people put in their hand, in their shoulder 2, 3 years ago. And
right.
they leave us alone. But when this is the way I look at it, if the fake alien invasion is happening, people are accepting the fact that there are extraterrestrials.
Mm.
Now they can come in because they are not coming in cold turkey anymore. Now they are expected so they can come in and clean up the mess.
Complicated,
Yeah,
complicated.
that's what I
I can
saw.
see that. I can definitely see that. I can see that being the case to kind of soften us up and
Yeah.
prepare us for the next stage of whatever deception they're going to want to pull next. So I can see that. So
Oh, I got a good one.
yeah,
I wrote down the document that you can go to the FBI website and read.
okay,
Yeah, you can go to. This is the smoking gun document, and I got this from John D'Souza. The
oh
ex
yeah,
FBI. I think you had him as a guest.
yes,
And go to vault.gov.fbi and search for UFO groups and look for document number 6751. You can read it. In there, they explain that they are interdimensionals, and it gets a little explanatory.
yeah. I'm going to put that out in the chat as well.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So that is the address and the document number there. So you guys have fun with that. I'm going to look into that as well after the show.
Yeah. There you go.
And yeah, I mean, so that's good information. So what do you think then? Okay, so say this false invasion goes through. Say it's exactly that. They're setting up for the one world government. What do you think then would be the plan from that point forward, as far as, because just like you said earlier, ETs will likely disclose before the governments will. So
Yeah.
do are the ETs on a timeline? Do they step in prior to the government being able to pull this off, or is it something that, because if they disclose prior to them pulling this off, then I think the false flag thing goes out the window potentially.
Yeah.
But if they wait until afterwards, then maybe that's a collusion between them and the government. And it's just, I like to just talk this through because we don't have the answers, right? And to see what different options we might be presented with down the road. How do you think this turns out after this false flag invasion?
Well, there is a plan for it, and it is on the CIA's website. And one of the things that was important for them to do, and it's in the document, is that they have to destroy religion. And they pretty much have done that now. And because religious people, they are, first of all, doesn't talk about aliens so much in the Bible, so they can't exist. Of course, we know that. But there are other things also. They need to have the technology, from satellite technology, to create a sea or large ships in the atmosphere. And they have that now. Some of you may have seen that whale that they did in Dubai. The whale was just flying through the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
That
seen
was
that.
holographic technology, and it was very accurate, detailed, accurate. And then they have developed telepathic communication. That's an old technology. It's called voice to skull technology, and the first patent I show on it back to 1978. They beam microwaves to you and your head, and then they key in voice on it. So when you get the microwaves, it already has voice on it, and you hear the voice in your head. And
Yeah.
this is probably, I don't know what they're going to tell you, but this is kind of what I think. They are going to tell you that I am your God. Do as the government tell you, and we will protect you. Because if you look up, they also have another hologram of Jesus in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
That
heard
is
of
in the
this.
document. They plan to do this. And on top of that, if you are in other countries like Saudi Arabia, you couldn't care less about Jesus, but Muhammad is going to be there
Yeah. Yeah.
talking to you.
I've heard of this. I've heard of
So,
this. I can
yeah,
see that. I can see that, and we know that the ability to do that is there because you've had people who way back in the day, it was rumored that people were being able to pick up radio frequencies due to a certain feeling that they had in their teeth, and then that obviously is a frequency that creates sound within your skull. And then if you've ever tried to talk with your mouth closed, and how you can still the frequency, you're able to pick up what the words are just based on the frequency. So that all makes sense, and that could be a plan that I could see that would
yeah,
affect a certain group of people, because
yeah,
you're projecting this voice into their heads, and they're what are they to think but they're being spoken to, right? So I could see
yeah.
how that could go somewhere.
I personally think they're already using this
Yeah.
because you hear people that go out and really do bad things at malls and stuff. They hear voices in their head saying, God told me to do it. It
Hmm.
wouldn't surprise me if that was a CIA psyop to get somebody to do that so they can go after our guns.
That's actually funny you said that, because my theory on that is very similar to what you just said.
Hmm.
My theory is that taking out the frequency and the speaking in their mind. I felt like potentially that it'd be these benevolent or malevolent extraterrestrials that may be hijacking your consciousness and kind of, take over this person's
Yeah.
physical and then, do these horrible things and then maybe, then they revert back to themselves or however that works. But it would, it would, because when you think about it, and those acts that we're talking about are ones that you can't even explain why a person would do those sorts of things. And the only thing that would make sense is if they were completely not there mentally and maybe potentially their consciousness has been, then obviously that's something kind of far off. But when you talk about that particular scenario, it's hard to put an explanation in place of why a person would do something like that. So
Yeah.
you have a great theory on that with what you just said, but mine's is pretty close to that. But just
Yeah, and I think also that what you just said about this concept of demonic possession, that concept is alive and well. There are entities, non-physical entities, that from time to time are able to impose themselves in a weak-minded person to make them do things that they otherwise would be out of character.
yeah.
I think you're right on that one. It could happen.
Yeah, and that's why I say at the end, and that's why I love having these conversations, because it just allows you to talk through just different scenarios. You had some great things to add to that. Kind of made me think for a minute, like, yeah, that could be something plausible. And the thing is that we'll probably find out at the end of the day, maybe none of us are correct, or maybe all of us are correct. And it's just, hopefully I'm wanting to hopefully have answers to this within my own lifetime. It's selfish to say so, but I do know at the very least that the work that we're doing is going to resonate for our descendants down the line, and they will actually for surely be able to benefit from all the spitballing and
Yeah,
prepping and talking through it that we're doing right now. So
absolutely. Yeah,
feels
and
good.
there is a little bit of, well, there is kind of a way that you can control your future a lot more than what you think you can. And that is to create it before you have to live it. Because in this mind created, holographically generated, and self-aware universe we are living in, our mind has a great hand in creating the future for us.
Yeah.
So in there, we can, once you understand the enemy, you don't have to think about him all the time. You can stay with the good stuff that'll help you create the good future. And I'll tell you, when it comes to the fake alien invasion and a lot of the stuff that I talk about sometimes, I would love to be proven wrong. Man, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I hope I am.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's big of you to say that, and important for you to say that too. It is very important because I think there are, there's a portion of the community out there that wouldn't stand on that. They would just say this is what it's going to happen, and there is no other way. This is what our future is going to be, and you have to question that. But being open to being wrong, you know what I mean? That means that you have an open mind, and you're able to be led in a direction depending on the evidence that shows up. So today you might think this way, tomorrow it could be something totally different based on the data that's brought to the table. And this is a productive conversation. So I like having these. But what we're going to do right now, Augie, we're going to actually pause for the cause. Right now is when we take our break at the top of the hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back on our 25,000 subscriber, 25K show with our guest tonight, Augie Nast, and we're going to get into some deeper conversation, consciousness, the whole thing. So you guys don't go anywhere, and we will be right back right after this commercial break. See you in a minute.
Okay.
Love that. Love that riff right there. Welcome back to Spaced Out Radio after hour number 2 with me, your host, Mr. Rob G, on this 25K night, man, for Spaced Out Radio. It's a great, we're having a great time here tonight. Having a great conversation. I want to go ahead and talk about the Reno trip coming up. May 10th through 12th, 2024. Make sure you're there. The way it's going to run is Friday. Jessica, Dave, and myself, we're going to go ahead and do an hour each live show right then and there in front of everyone. Then right after the broadcast, we're going to go ahead and kick off the VIP party. So it should be fantastic. Saturday, we're going to go ahead and do the ghost hunt with Merle in Virginia City. The Saturday night, we're going to do a UFO skywatch with Melinda Leslie and potential CE5 event. Potentially, I know Deb Shakti is going to be down there. Hopefully, we have Brian Bowden, Travis Mustus, and a plethora of people who are going to who specialize in CE5. So hopefully, we pull that off. Sunday is going to be just a free for all day. Totally up to you. We can set up breakfast. We can set up dinner. We can sit down, break bread with each other. We can actually sit down at dinner and order breakfast and invite Dave Scott on over because he loves breakfast for dinner. He's the biggest advocate in the world when it comes to having breakfast for dinner. Guaranteed. Just ask him for sure. And then what we'll do is, hopefully we can see you there. It's $60 for a regular ticket. $100 gets you the ticket plus the VIP and swag bags. We just really hope to see you there. We do this for you, and hopefully you can join us. So, with that being said, we are back with our guest Augie Nast, and we've been getting into some deep conversation here. So, kind of wanted to shift it a little bit. I know you have, you're an author, and you have a couple books. So you have Spiritual Science, and then you have Higher Consciousness Thinking, and How to Access the Universal Consciousnesses. So that's something that intrigues me, just the titles. If you wouldn't mind kind of talking about what this spiritual science is in your definition, and let's go ahead and start there.
Well, that book looks like this. Of course, you can't see that, but there we go.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's on Amazon. You can get it there. It teaches you how to use your mind in ways that you normally would think would be impossible. Because I go through some techniques, and I also prove to you that higher consciousness usually comes through meditation. When you start meditating, things happen. You are altering the neural network to go into areas of the brain that has these capabilities of many different things, like the pituitary. That is your antenna for interdimensional communication. There's ways you can clean it up and you can set it right so you can do this. And I had a little bit of an advantage, I guess, almost 10 years ago now. I had a universal download where the universe was explained to me in concept and detail. And a lot of that is in the book. In fact, we go into many other things too of extraterrestrial research and the written history of Earth. The real written history all the way up to about 5,000-6,000 years ago. It's called the Sumerian tablets.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
That explains who created what we call mankind and how they did it. They talk of the two twisted ropes of life. Yeah, we have the same term. But on there is the genetics. I hung on, and also they talked that they gave of their own substance to create this person or this animal. I guess that was supposed to be a servant, just smart enough to do the work but wouldn't ask questions. But they screwed up. We're asking questions. So now, when you look at what they did back then, they took away, and it's right in the tablet, they took away the capability of long life. They took away the capability of knowing what is in the other's mind. And that is still available to us in the junk DNA. We just have to know how to connect it. And I talked about that a little bit. We can actually do this. Your intuition will skyrocket. You will, in fact, on the mastermind that Nori and I are doing our complete course of how to increase your intuition. So the mind has really no limitations to it. Now that is a big pill to swallow.
Yeah, it
But
is.
if we think about what we are we actually physical beings? Is this solid? Is it real? Quantum mechanics are telling us now, no, it isn't. It is what you see around you is created by the mind as a mind construct to be able to learn and see things in the present moment as they pass by. So this gets really deep.
Yeah, 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 and yeah, and you talk about the junk DNA and those things that we have to reawaken within our consciousness, and it's obvious that I always like to point back to like the Stargate, Project Stargate, and okay, let me see real quick. Looks like Joe Monk, one of our viewers, saying that your mic might be a little low.
A little low.
Yeah,
Volume.
yeah, your mic volume. If you can turn it up just a little bit.
Oh, okay. I'll do okay. I can hear you okay though.
Yeah, I can hear you good too.
Yeah.
And Joe Monk, is that better? Because I did hear his audio quality increase there.
Yeah.
Let me know, Joe Monk, if that's good. Okay, better. Great. Okay,
Uh,
so
uh,
yeah, with the junk DNA and just the whole aspect of that, because yeah, for sure, going back to Stargate, the government's obviously had a heads up in some way or another to know that we were capable of doing these other things, right? This remote viewing and that there's a whole consciousness ascension aspect to this and because I feel like because they know that information, they understand if we were able to activate those things, that it wouldn't be great for them. That they
yeah.
would lose control of the populace because at that point we're totally different beings at that point once we activate those things. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah. And they spend a lot of times denying that it's possible. One of the good things, I mean, the thing government is good at as that is deny, 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 and people believe them. They are so brainwashed into believing that when the government says something, it's true.
Yeah.
I I traveled to Russia decades ago, and I ran into students over there. They told me a saying that they had, and that was, nothing is confirmed until the government has denied it.
Right.
So if the government says something, expect it to be a lie. And I am totally on board with that.
Yeah, yeah. You have to the people that are sitting in those rooms, and the powers that be that are sitting in those rooms, consciously making this decision to suppress humanity and want to keep us in this lockdown sort of mental state. It just like what you have to think, like what human being would want to consciously make a decision like that.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing that gives me hope about any of the things that they're doing on that side, which we can't really control, It's just the fact that the government is made up of human beings, and that part of it gives me at least a glimmer of hope that
Yeah.
we'll have defectors potentially that come from the government because they have this compassion as a human being to want to see humanity go in that direction, that they say, you know what, this is bigger than me. I am okay with maybe sacrificing my freedom for now in order to help humanity ascend. And I'm hoping that that thing becomes contagious within the government. And then you have this flood of people who are just in the government waking up and realizing that, what they're doing is technically a crime against humanity,
Yeah.
and wanting to step out there and do the right thing on behalf of humanity. It's a hope of mine. I don't know how that goes, or because it's so compartmentalized, the information within the government, and that's how they segregate those people and never give them even the full picture. So
Yeah.
I don't know how we get to a point to where we can break through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just something I think about all the time.
Well, there is a lot of government people that is not happy with their jobs. So we have to talk to them, and we're doing that. You're doing it every night. I'm doing it for 3 or 4 times a week. And it's getting to the point where some of them, or quite a few of them, is so uncomfortable. They are looking for other work. And when they're away from government, then they can talk. Especially now because of the whistleblower laws that has come on the books. Now they can talk.
Do you feel like I'm waiting for, and I'm hoping for someone that is brave enough to step out and just violate an NDA. I mean, I'll just say it, violating an NDA, right? Because and when I say that, I don't mean releasing government secrets, because I don't think that's cool. But what I'm talking about is just the extraterrestrial aspect, the part that shouldn't be classified, the part that shouldn't be held back from humanity, even though it's written in their NDAs that they can't speak about that. I hope that there's someone that listens to this show that might be within those agencies that is willing to break an NDA, because technically, as far as the way the people would look at you, you'd be a hero to the people. You'd be a hero to humanity. I truly don't see how a government would be able to enforce an NDA when it was done, with the when it was broken with the best interests of humanity at heart. I don't see how humanity would allow that to happen. And that's just a message I put out there, because I really believe that if someone were brave enough to take that step and say, you know what, I'm just going to come out and give all the evidence of what's going on, and we're just going to end
Yeah.
this right now. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that there's someone that's going to be brave enough to do that. They'll be known in the history books for all eternity for doing something to benefit humanity. And I just hope it clicks in someone to do that
Yeah.
this year, hopefully, please. Hopefully this year. I don't know.
Especially now since the whistleblower laws came on the books, nothing bad's going to happen to someone that comes out and talk about government corruption.
Right.
Nothing bad's going to happen to them, because they come out, even if the government sue you, that would be a big mistake on their part, because you have the right to discovery. So you can say, okay, bring me all the documents that I was talking about. If they have them, they have to give it to you. And now you got more stuff to disclose. So they're not going to do that. It won't happen.
Man. It's sad. It's sad when you think about it, because we're so close but so far,
Yeah.
and we technically have all this data as experiencers, and just the stuff we've compiled on our own. Forget what the government has compiled. We could just take what we have as our
Yeah.
own data and be
Yeah.
able to say, hey, this is real, and kind of show that to the rest of the world.
Mhm.
But one thing I always talk about is the segregation within ufology and how everyone wants to play for their own team. Everyone wants to be the one to break the news or to bring forth the evidence instead of coming together. I believe, yeah, I've said this before, I believe every show out here that deals with this topic, our audiences should integrate with each other. We should all have one audience, and we should, it shouldn't be an ego thing where you want to keep your audience to yourself, because we have to actually come together and have some sort of movement as a group in order to kind of break this in or kick this in. Because if we don't do that, then all we're waiting, the only other way the disclosure or
Yeah.
confirmation comes in is if the ETs decide to do it tomorrow, or if the government, which we know they won't, decides that they want to do it at some point. But these are the only options we have. And
Yeah.
it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is. And there will be a form of disclosure, and they're going to give us pittance to start with. Just next to, oh, wait a minute, we found a worm on Mars,
Yeah.
a fossilized worm, 2.3 million years old. Yeah, there's life out there. That's probably what they're going to come with first. Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot more on Mars than that. But I think what people, a lot of people out there, they have never seen anything. I got a question for them. Have you looked?
That is
Yeah,
so funny. I say that too. Have you even looked? I say that to the skeptics. They say, "Oh, well, we've never seen anything." Have you ever looked up? Have you ever even? And the answer is always no. Have you
yeah,
taken time to just go watch the sky? The answer is no. I'm like, well, you'll never see anything if you don't do. You know what I mean? And it's common sense, right? That's a common sense sort of thing, and that's what I mean by common sense could probably get us the answers to a lot of this stuff that we're dealing with, because it's
yeah.
simple as going outside and looking up. You will eventually see something.
And actually, the title of this show was Communication with Extraterrestrials. So there is a way to do that. And think of it. many, many of the abductees, they have said that they were communicating with who was there, but the other person did not move their lips. It was mind to mind.
Yes,
So they're telepathic.
yes, I
So
agree.
go outside at night when it's dark. If you're in the city, good luck. Maybe get on a roof or something. But go outside and take a chair and spend 30 minutes sitting there looking up into the sky. I will almost guarantee you to see something that could question, what is that? Because
Yeah,
they're everywhere right now. And if you want to see what's outside of the physical, get binoculars. And I bet every one of you out there have gone to the movies and you have these little goggles that you put on the 3D movie that you got red on one side and blue on the other side.
yes,
Okay, take those red and blue. You can buy them on YouTube, I think for $1 a piece. YouTube, I mean Amazon. And take the lenses out and put them on top of each other, and
mm,
put them in front of the glass. I mean, on the binoculars. You're going to see higher up into the light spectrum than what you do with your eyes.
wow,
Try that, and next time when you do that, get back on this show and tell them, because this works. You, you could
that's
see
perfect.
you could see cigar-shaped ship, and if you really want to see it, get a hold of the fourth generation night vision goggle.
Yes,
That,
yes.
yeah, you heard about that.
You're talking my language right now, all day. The psionics, the psionics binocular is one tool that I've spoken to many people who own these, and they have said with certainty that you are highly likely to see something, within your first couple tries of using the thing. We're
Yeah.
gonna have one. I think Kira said she's gonna bring hers out to the Skywatch in Reno this May. So we'll have an opportunity to do that. And then I would also implore people out there, just as Augie said, why not try the 3D glasses and get the limp? They're $1 a piece. Maybe we can get a bunch of those and bring those out to the Skywatch in Reno and see how those turn out, and
Yeah.
maybe that does. And that's what I say. I say, when I talk to people who they're like, man, I haven't seen anything. I've gone all these years and I've never seen anything. The question is, just like you say, have you looked up? And then the second thing is try using one of these tools like a psionics or just
Yeah.
something that allows you to see in a different spectrum. And you're going to see them because they are there and they're there all the time. And if
Yeah.
people realize, and I think once that keys in, it's not like these things come occasionally and they were here years ago and they're not here now. Because that I was under that thought process prior to my sighting. When 2017 hit, it let me know that these things are here all the time. And then I get my sighting and it just further confirmed that. And so when I talk to someone who has gone all these years without having the sighting, I tell them, the monocular psionics is like $400, which isn't in everyone's budget. But I say if you have the opportunity to use one, borrow one, or buy one, definitely do it because your drought will be over at that
Yeah.
moment. You will see something for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. And when you go outside at night, sit there for 30 minutes, also engage the mind, try to communicate with them.
Yeah.
Speak to them. Tell them, I know you are there. Show yourself. And give it a little time because you never know where they are.
Mm-hmm.
No, they travel pretty fast, but give it a little time. So just sit there and try to talk to them. And because I've done this, what I did, I walked. I kind of live on the edge of the city here, and I walked out to the real edge where there's just fields beyond it. And I stood there, looked up into the sky, and I told them I wanted to communicate. And I visualized myself leaving the body and going up into the sky and seeing a long cigar-shaped ship, and I was going up to it, through the wall and inside.
Yeah.
So now I'm inside the ship in my mind, and I saw people in there looking like me. That's probably what I wanted to see, I suppose. And they ignored me, totally ignored me. There was just in my mind. It was not an astral journey. It was just in my mind. So do an astral journey. That is, you can be there on site. But this was not that for me. I was in there for a short period of time, and they ignored me, and then I just left and went back to where I was standing. And twice I've done this, and the ship showed up. They didn't come really low because right across the field there is an Air Force base and a big airport. So that could be maybe that a ship around an Air Force base, maybe not quite safe. I don't know. But I had them come in twice where I could see it because they came across the sky and in front of me, then it stopped and the light was sitting there.
Yeah, yeah, and you use those laser pointers as well
Yeah.
to kind of flag them. And I've seen some pretty compelling video where these things appear to give some sort of response to the person that is bringing them in. And then we have a couple people who contribute to the show. On our Saturdays, we have Brian Bowden, and then Sundays, usually we have Travis Moostus. And these guys, Travis shows us videos all the time of craft that he essentially feels that they're there. Like he gets this feeling that they're there, and then goes out and is able to record almost a really good video too. And the whole CE5 part of that is something I'm interested in, because I think through consciousness, I think that's a real thing there. Like that's something you can really do, because you just like you stated, the whole telepathy thing within our junk DNA that some people already have unlocked. They're born with it unlocked, and then some of us have to figure out how to unlock it over our lifetime.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're trying to do that in Reno. It was originally the Skywatch, which we're still doing that, but then I wanted to add another element to that. So we will happen to have three or four people there who specialize in CE5. So we're gonna all at once try to make that happen in front of everyone, and hopefully that happens, because I think a CE5 event, if we wanted to bring disclosure in, I think if you got together all the best CE5 specialists, that's probably something that can be done in front of the world potentially.
Yeah.
So, I'm always thinking through trying to figure out a way to move the needle, and I think that might be something that we could do.
Yeah. All you have to do is look. They are everywhere right now, especially here in Tucson.
Oh yeah. You have Gray Sky. Melinda Leslie. Are you familiar with Melinda Leslie?
No.
Okay, she's into my labs, and she actually runs out in Sedona.
Oh.
She does Skywatch tours out there all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So Arizona's definitely the best place. Arizona, Nevada. I'm in Southern California in like the high desert, Bakersfield. So, these are perfect places for you to be able to have these open sky scenarios.
Yeah.
Some people don't get that, and I understand that. Like Northwest, Pacific Northwest is cloudy all the time, so they don't get a chance to do that. But
Yeah.
we live in great places where we have the opportunity to have clear, open skies.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, because not everyone has a star named after them, but you happen to have a star named after you. How did that happen? And I don't know if you want to go into that.
Actually, somebody gifted it to me. They contacted the people in Switzerland that holds the record, and they just kind of put my name in there, and I guess there was a fee for it, but I don't know what that was because I didn't do it. So I got gifted that from that person.
That's not, what constellation is it in, or do you know?
The Pisces.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that something people? Well, I don't imagine they pay for something like that, right? How would someone go about doing that? Do you have any clues on what the process is?
I if we Google the star registry, I think you probably can find them. I think you
Okay.
can find them there and contact them. I'm not sure exactly how it. I wasn't
Yeah.
involved in getting it, so
I think I would be interested in doing that. I mean, there's
yeah.
billions of stars. Why not have one named after yourself? I know a couple things also that you're into. I know you get into time travel. You speak about time travel. What is your theory on time travel? Some people think that some of these experiences we're having are us from the future potentially, or just some sort of time travel aspect to this. How do you feel about that? What's your outlook on that?
Well, I think probably there could be something that us coming back from the future, but the one interview that is on YouTube about the alien, he looked like a gray, and he says he came back from the future because he is us. I don't buy that.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
If they come back, we don't change that easily. The genetic structure of humans has been around for millions of years. We see footprints of them from
Yeah.
30 million years ago. So, in fact, there is, well, scientists are coming out now saying that, yes, we know we can build a time machine. If somebody wants to read about that, they can go to a recognized news source, bbc.com, and look for it at July 2018. And they're talking to scientists, and the scientists are saying, yes, we know how to make it, but we're not going to do it yet, or we can't do it yet, or something like that, they said, because people are not ready for it. Think about it, though. If everybody could time travel, let's say that I screwed up something really bad 10 years ago. I could go back before that and change my thinking so I didn't do the same thing. And then I create a new timeline so I totally avoid. That would be a nice thing, wouldn't it?
You're right.
Yeah. But then again, if you start a new timeline for yourself, then you may not remember what happened in the old one. So you could end up doing the same mistake. Because now your consciousness is in a different timeline where things are different. Maybe not much, but a little different. In fact, in your mind, you can travel. If you go to our website, broadcastteamalpha.com, go into the picture gallery and go to page 15. In the middle of the page, there's two pictures next to each other. And they're greenish in color. There's just a road that goes through it. And those two pictures are evidence of time travel. And I took them. It's this is something that I've been messing with for almost 30 years now. In fact, in 2003, BBC Television came over to the US and they were going to do a TV documentary on time travel. They had Michio Kaku on there, and Green, and another theoretical physicist, and myself. On there, I demonstrated a little electronic device that I've had some very strange experiences with. And the mind can override everything. And in this book, I put a whole chapter in there on how you can do that. In fact, there is scientific experiments now that prove you can actually go back even and change the past. There's Dr. Helmut Schmidt over in Germany, a German scientist. He did the experiments proving it's possible. And they're repeatable scientific experiments. And in order to understand time travel, it will really help to understand what the universe is.
Yeah.
And also what time is. Time is just a mind-created construct because there is no scientific evidence on the blackboard showing that time exists. But the mind creates this construct because the mind operates in present moments. So it has a present moment here, one over here, one over here, one over there, and they come one after the other one. And they are stacked so close. They are actually stacked with a Planck distance between each one of them. And that is about, I think, now there's a formula to that, and I'm not so sure I can recite it. But the present moment are stacked so close together, so when we go through it, it looks like a movie, and we are the star actor in it.
Mm.
So if we think about quantum mechanics are telling us that we live in a mind-created universe. Everything around you is created by the mind. There's nothing real and physical. This computer is just created with my mind. And now that one is hard to wrap our head around. But the thing about it is that there is some scientific experiments that has been done repeatedly, and they prove it. But we got to dive into quantum mechanics in order to see this. And usually people don't. That's why they think, oh, the government says there's no such thing as time travel, so there isn't any.
Yeah, it's the silliest thing I've ever heard. I just talked about this. I want to say that last night I have a separate channel. We do a call-in show over there, and we just talked about how we don't really understand what reality is. Like there's no way that any living person can give you a definition of what reality is, and just giving examples on how if you're in a westernized country, your idea of society is a place that you're able to walk around freely, without any concern, any worries. And while someone in a third world country, that isn't the reality that they live. So just in life that we live here, we can see the reality isn't the same for everyone.
Yeah,
So that's going to be the model across the higher you go with speaking about this. So it just I always get a funny feeling anytime someone tries to say that something is impossible, or
yeah,
this is what anything outside of this reality isn't able to be, isn't a real thing. So, and then I just point those simple things out right there, and it's like if you have an open mind and you listen to that, then you should understand immediately that no one can really use the word impossible or possible or define what reality is. It's just too many unknowns. Even about the planet we live on, there's too many unknowns with this thing that we live on and touch and interact with every
yeah,
day. So,
yeah. And if you start stepping out of the box a little bit, there is a lot of evidence for time travel. In fact, I think I'm going to take 45 seconds and tell you about one incident. And that is that this guy, his name was Andrew Carlsen. In 2003, he was arrested for insiders trading in New York. He started with $800. In a few weeks, he amassed $350 million from his investments. And the regulators started looking at that and they said, wait a minute, no, 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 that can't happen. He had insiders information. So they came and arrested him and hauled him into court. And the judge asked him, how did you do this? And he said, Andrew said, well, it got out of hand. He says, I got caught up in the moment and I'm sorry that I really did it. He said, you can just keep the money. He says, I'm a time traveler. I read the records from the future and I knew which ones would have tremendous growth in a very short time. So that's what I went back and did. And the judge, of course, his eyes rolled back in the head, I suppose, and he just didn't believe him, so he put him in jail. 2 days later, a man came with a $1 million bond that they had put on him, $1 million. He paid the bond, the bail, and they both left, and he was never seen again. They both disappeared. Now, a lot of people say, oh, sure, that was just a story that was made up. Well, I checked with the police department at Raker's Island where he was supposed to be held. There is a file in his name, and you can read it.
yeah.
So that story is real.
I love receipts. Receipts. Yeah. 2024, I've said as well, has got to be the year of receipts. And another thing I like to point out is, let's with as far as what's possible, and if you even want to look at it, let's just start with dinosaurs, right? I mean, 60-foot lizards used to walk on the same ground that we're walking on here. Why couldn't there be a Bigfoot or one of these cryptids as well that are walking around. Like, why couldn't that be a
Yeah.
possibility? And it's not saying that these things are for sure things. It's just saying that we don't know enough about what we're dealing with to say, what's possible and what isn't. And it's just, if you just start there, then your mind should be open to anything
Yeah.
being possible. Any of these things we're talking about now, time travel, any of these things. And we know telepathy, some of the things we're starting to uncover, we're beginning to prove some of these things. So we're kind of checking off our list as we go, even though our list is long. And I have this theory as well. And this is something I brought up. I want to know what you thought about it. Some people look at these ETs, and their whole outlook on these ETs is they're here to give us all the answers. They're here to raise us up and give us the answers of the universe. My theory is, one of my theories is on this is that we don't have the ability to, when we look at ETs, we look at human beings or any other intelligent life within the universe that the ETs may be more advanced than us, so they may have, as far as that list goes of things, questions that they are needing to get answered, they may have more of those items checked off. But I feel like at the end of the day, they probably still themselves don't have all the answers to this universe and what it is that we're doing, which would make sense why they would travel space or travel dimensions, in because they're trying to get some of those other questions answered that they may have as well. And I think if we're brought up to their level, if we tomorrow's the day that we get to sit down and talk to them, they give us all the data they have, and mentally we get ascend to the level that they're on, and now we're peers as far as knowledge goes. That we'll find out that we that there's still more answers than there, more questions than there are answers, even at that point in that level of ascension. So I don't know how you feel about that. I get real passionate when I talk about this because, I enjoy trying to get to those answers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And the more I learn, the more questions I get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But then it's great when you can have a conversation with a person like yourself who has spent years, pondering these same questions
Yeah.
and coming to other conclusions. And that's why I feel like we should be doing this, what we're doing here right now, on a larger scale with other people involved, and kind of taking all of the thoughts that we had about this and trying, because that's really the only way I think we'll quickly get to finding out what the answers are. Just kind of, putting
Yeah.
my data against yours, against his, against hers,
Yeah.
and kind of seeing what we have collectively. But
Along this line of thinking, I like to give the listeners something to make their life better.
yes, sir.
There is a way that you can actually create the future that you will have before you have to live it. And remember that mind created universe now. When your mind creates something, thoughts are things. So it is real on a mental level. You can sit down. First of all, you got to know what you want. If you don't know what you want, all get bets are off. But if you know something specific that you want, and then create it in concept, in detail, a colorful image of it in your mind, and place it in the future. Like maybe at a Christmas party, New Year's party, birthday party. And then go and visit it every day. Visit that thing that you want to have happen. Go back and forth to it every day. Now you lay down attractor strings to it, and you get drawn up that timeline to that thing in the future. And what happens then is that when the Christmas party comes, very often you just walk into it. It is yours. It will help if you also do what you can to help make it happen. But it may not be totally necessary because the universe, once you create like this, the universe will get in the game with you and help you create. And it does because it's the law of the universe. When you think of something, you have created it at a mental level and a visual level and placed it into the quantum field. It is right there. And it is sitting there as potential for physical creation if you go and retrieve it. And that is what you do when you place it in the future and go visit it every day and walk into it when you have it. Or you can also help. This is something, let me back up. uh, on Sundays, Nori and I have a mastermind group that we put together, and we do this with a lot of people. And we have incredible things happening. It seems sometimes as we are creating out of seemingly nothing because it just shows up. So if anybody want to be part of that or check it out, send us an email to themastermindconnection@gmail.com. Themastermindconnection@gmail.com. I'll send you some information or links so you can come and check it out. Because this is something that it works. And we've done some really incredible things. One lady, she was on her deathbed in the hospital, and we wrapped our mastermind around her and saw her walking out of the hospital. And as you know, nobody walks out of the hospital. They have to be in a wheelchair. But that's what we saw. And for her, she actually walked out because she got out of the wheelchair in the lobby and walked out. So now, think about that. The next day, she was totally without COVID.
Wow.
And we also did another thing, I guess it's a year and a half ago now in Northern California. There was all kinds of forest fires, and a lady called me and she said, I'm gonna have to move into town because I'm afraid my house is gonna burn. The fires are coming closer. And this was right before a mastermind group. So we wrapped our mastermind around her, Northern California, and her house. And we felt it, howling rain coming down. And we did that for about 5 minutes, and then we went on to other things. And an hour and a half after we were done, she called me and she said, it's raining. And yeah, there was some clouds in the sky before, but not all that much. There was blue skies in between. So it works. People should create masterminds like this at home. Families should do it. Know what you want to happen and then visualize it into existence and visit it all the time. If they do that, people's life will change. And in here, we talk about the many different ways that you can structure this. And in that book about spiritual science, higher conscious thinking, and how to access the universal consciousness.
Yeah, that is awesome. I agree. I agree with you too. I believe that their healing energy is a real thing, and it's obvious that we're made up of this energy, of this life force, and it just it makes common sense that if you're able to harness that life force and that consciousness element, and if you're able to combine those things with other people who are able to do the same thing, that common sense would say that would be a pretty strong force there, a strong energy force that could potentially do some of the things that you're describing here. So it makes total sense, and I would say that is it's really good. It's a good thing for people to do exactly what you said, and
Yeah,
I second that. People should definitely get together and try to put this positive energy out there
yeah,
because the world needs it, and we should be doing that anyways. But as a collective, I think it probably could affect things for
yeah.
sure.
The reason the mastermind that we have is so effective is because of the principle. The mastermind principle is when two or more minds are united in harmony, they create a third mind, which has the potential mind power of the two or more of them multiplied by each other. So if you got 1,000 people concentrating on one thing, seeing it already done and complete, now you got the mind power of 1,000 times 1,000. That's 1,000,000 minds, and that is powerful.
That is that is totally powerful. It's almost the
Yeah,
same thing like I'm saying and trying to accomplish with this whole CE5 thing. Really, is combining multiple mental, abilities in trying to specific thing. So it's exactly what it is that you're talking about now.
yeah.
And this is all great, great advice. We're getting down to, we have like 4 minutes left here. I'd like for you to go ahead and talk about what you have going on and where people can find you. You have a new book coming out. Go ahead and take the rest of the time to talk to the
Okay,
people.
okay. Nori Love and I, we also do another podcast. It's called Broadcast Team Alpha. We are on 44 different platforms around the world. YouTube is just one of them. And we, I also have a show under the umbrella of it. It's called the Paranormal World Show, where we talk about all kinds of goofy stuff. And Nori also have a healing show under the umbrella that give people something to make their life better. And besides that, we are expanding. And when I was this book, it's been around for probably 9 years now, and they're still selling pretty good. So that's kind of unheard of for a 9-year-old book. But in there, I do teach people how to use their mind in ways that you normally would think would be impossible. And I go into, I know we're not supposed to write about or talk about religion or politics. Well, I learned that the hard way when I was doing TV in Tucson. You don't talk about those things. But
Yeah.
there is some religious facts that has been totally twisted for you. If you go back and you find out, when I did the research for this book, I found a guy. His name, well, it's the sun god. And when people pray at the end of the prayer, they say, Amen. Amen was the name of the sun god because he was an Anunnaki.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah. There is old writings that speak to that effect. Uh, he had a wife. He had several children. So maybe there is some more research necessary for somebody that do want the truth outside of the one book.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's as far as I'm going to go on the religion part because I don't want you to lose half your listeners.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I mean, and I love to have those deep conversations. So you're fine with that, and that's perfect. We can leave it there. And I definitely want to thank you for coming in. Like, I really, I'm glad that we had a chance to meet here and sit down and have this conversation. I think people enjoyed it. We should, and I say this all the time, but any conversation that helps us move forward is one that I'm willing and wanting to have. So I think that there are future conversations that we could have as well, and we should do that. So now that I have you as a new friend, we shall stay in touch, and we'll get together and figure out what we're gonna do next.
Yes, let's do it. And send me a link, and I'll help you give this show legs too.
Definitely. Well, Augie Nast, pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for coming in. You have a great rest of your night. I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and then we're going to go to commercial break. You take care.
See you later.
Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gents. So we're going to go ahead and pause for the cause as we get ready to jump into hour 3, only here on Spaced Out Radio. Make sure you hear when we get back. I don't know what we'll do. Let's just have fun. It's a 25K show. Anything goes. I'm just, feeling really good about that. And let's have some fun. So I'll see you in a minute. All right, welcome back to Spaced Out Radio after hour number 3 with me, your host, Mr. Rob G. As we sit here on this fantastic Sunday evening, great show so far, great guest. I want to thank Augie Nast for coming on in and having these deep conversations, man. You know I love these, and these things could go to places unknown or uncharted, right? Because that's I think it's important to do that and to have these type of conversations. So we will continue to do so here as we commit and vow to continue to raise the bar here Spaced Out Radio, and it's only up from here. And just living in the moment and just reveling in, being able to appreciate the growth that is happening here, and it just feels really good. Lets us know that the work that we do is acknowledged and appreciated. And, with that being said, we just want you guys to know that we appreciate you just as much. So it's a beautiful thing. You guys should be proud of helping us get here. And, it's a win for all of us. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and give the round of applause. Space Out Radio. 25K. 25K. And let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's raise it. Let's keep going. Couldn't do it without you. This is for you. Okay, so with that being said, we're in hour number 3. We're just going to have some fun. We're going to do a couple cool things here. I want to thank Maggie M10 for dropping the super sticker on us. We do appreciate that. And then going back, obviously, we had the super chat from Deb from Sacramento. If I can go ahead and get to that. Okay, let's go. So, Kira, I am in honor of all those space travelers who have subscribed to the greatest YouTube channel and most awesome radio station at Spaced Out Radio. Woohoo! Love it. Thanks, Kira, for showing your love and hitting that 25 for 25K. We love it. Appreciate you. Jennifer Patterson with the 199 sticker. We do appreciate your love and support of Spaced Out Radio. Let's keep doing this thing here. Let's keep it going, Maggie M10. We appreciate your super sticker. Thanks for showing your love, and thanks for being here and supporting us tonight. Deb from Sacramento. Hey, sweet Rob G. And everyone, I'm late. So sue me for $5. LOL. There you go. 5 in the pot. You just so you know, you may have just heard we hit 25K tonight. Deb from Sac. So things are looking, good, and hopefully we are helping move the needle. And that's really what this is all about, why we do this. So, it feels really good. So thanks for the super chat. Thanks for your support, Deb from Sacramento. We love it. And with that being said, I want to start it off. Obviously, we go into Lon Strickler's PhantomandMonsters.com because he has some great content over there on the website. If you've never been there, definitely consider going over and supporting Lon Strickler. Has a fantastic website. He has cataloged so many different encounters that people have submitted to him. We're going to go over a couple of those today, and we're just going to read them out. No spooky music behind it because I got to find something, first of all, that doesn't get struck down by copyright, right? Yeah, that part. So With that being said, let me go ahead and bring up the first one. Let me see, is this one here? I want to finish off with, okay, this is the one we'll start with here. All right, let me frame this a little bit better. Okay, so this is the one that we're going to look at right here, right now. Large unknown bipedal beast seen mutilating sheep at Howgill Fells, Cumbria, UK. So I know we have some viewers from the UK out there. Let me know if this is anywhere near where you're at and if you're familiar with this story or familiar with anything along these lines as far as cryptid sightings out your way. And let me go ahead and read this out for you here. So, let me frame this a little better as well. Okay, there we go. All right, so large unknown bipedal beast seen mutilating sheep in Howgill Fells, Cumbria, UK. A Cumbria, UK man is walking his dogs in the Howgill Fells when he notices several mutilated sheep. Then he observes a large, unknown bipedal creature sprinting away as the dogs took chase. And here's a quote here. I have an account that this is unbelievable and deeply frightening. I'm currently in my 10th week of recovery after enduring a shattered leg, and the details are as follows. I reside in the heart of the Howgill Fells in Cumbria, UK, where rolling hills seamlessly merge with sporadic woods and limestone features and give way to miles of unexplored cave systems. In the past year, while walking in the fields with my dogs, I noticed a disturbing trend, an increasing number of dead livestock. These animals have been torn apart by a force much larger than them, with some carcasses scattered over 50 feet. One particularly bizarre discovery was finding the remains of a sheep more than 30 feet up in a tree. This feat is not within the capabilities of sheep around here. My curiosity led me to the woodland where I found the tree sheep, and about 3 months later, I experienced something truly unnerving in the woods closest to sunset. My dogs stood still, growling, while a potent odor of mushrooms and urine permeated the air. Silence enveloped everything, replacing the usual symphony of birds and bleating lambs. Then, suddenly, a large bipedal creature that was emitting this scent sprinted away from me. Both dogs gave chase, but only one returned. Despite my efforts, I have never been able to locate the missing dog. It's not normal for dogs to go after them, but they do sometimes and usually end up with the same fate. Having faced danger in Afghanistan, Iraq, and the Ukraine, this encounter terrified me like never before. From that point on, I always carried my 12-gauge shotgun through the woods. I also secretly possess an old Lee Enfield 303 gifted by my grandfather for dire circumstances. The police would not look favorably on me if I was caught. 10 weeks ago, I returned to the woods, and the eerie events repeated. My dog exhibited signs of distress, growling intermittently. That familiar odor lingered, mixed with a sweetish pine scent. I spotted a creature roughly 7 feet tall, with tan-colored hair, darker areas on its body, and a mouth covered in blood. At its feet lay a 3-legged sheep that still seemed to be breathing. Believing that a shot from my 12-gauge would scare the creature away, allowing me to humanely finish off the injured sheep, I fired, knowing full well that at 40 meters away, the shot would be completely ineffective. However, my actions triggered a larger creature higher up the slope to push a boulder toward me. Attempting to dodge it, I fell backwards and the boulder rolled over my thigh, resulting in 4 clean breaks and 34 fractures. The memory of making my way back off the fell is non-existent. A friend informed me that I was found 6 hours later after my dog alerted him. I had to be airlifted to the hospital, and I owe my life to my loyal companion. Only a select few are privy to the truth of the story, as I fear the narrow-minded public would dismiss me as mad, regrettably. I don't own a mobile phone to document these events, but I kick myself for not having a camera with me at the time. What I witnessed was truly unbelievable, particularly here in the UK. However, over the past years, my mind has been open to all sorts of possibilities. Yeah, that's pretty spooky. I mean, it's always good to, get an idea of what's happening in other countries. Usually when you hear a story, it's usually based in the United States or maybe Canada, somewhere for us locally here. But, it's good to see and hear stories from places around the globe. As I know there's specific things that are seen out there, in the UK that aren't necessarily seen here. It's different behaviors of some of these things that people report. So it's kind of good to have perspective. Very creepy story. Lon Strickler getting it in over there, man. Good stuff. And let's go ahead. We have a second story here that we can go ahead and take a look at that I looked at earlier. I'm like, yeah, this is probably one we should look at. This one is going to be, let's see, stop the screen share there, and then get this one in. Okay, this is the one here. All right, so this one, just the title, I'm like, yeah, let's take a look at this one. So, ghoulish pale crawler, humanoid, encountered in tall grass near Rockford, Illinois. Crawlers are always creepy to me. God, I forget the Fresno walkers, I think is what those things are called. The things that are just like legs, kind of that they catch on camera. Whatever that thing is pretty crazy. But this one goes as follows. A teen is helping their veterinarian mother at the clinic. The witness is outside with a dog when they notice a humanoid that is emaciated, hairless, and pale moving through the grass. So Lon Strickler says he received this following account. This occurred about 5 years ago. I'm 20 now. My mother is a veterinarian and we have a clinic at the edge of Rockford, Illinois. Big town, roughly 150,000. However, when I say the edge of town, I mean cornfields for 30 miles plus to the west and 5 miles north with intermittent forestry in that area. I went to my mother to check on an overnight dog that was recovering from extensive treatment. However, there was a small pug, 9 to 15 pounds, also there overnight. So I offered to take the dog out to do his business and save my mom one more chore. The back of the clinic faces a grass-covered pond/marsh. It dries up from time to time, but the grass is 3 to 4 feet tall. I don't remember if it was late winter, early spring, or even early fall, but no snow and the grass was tall, so my guess was early fall. The front of the clinic is next to a road and other commercial buildings. However, the back of the building, like I said, is very undeveloped. There was some leftover cookies in the clinic, so I, being a kid, grabbed one and munched on it as I waited for the pug to do his thing. I'm not super fond of sweets, so I get halfway through the cookie and decide I've had enough. I remember the night having a vaguely eerie feeling. There are floodlights on the back of the clinic, though not so good lighting. Now, didn't see anything and brush it off as another Midwestern night of feeling creepy. It's not uncommon. If you're from the Midwest, I'm sure you can agree, but it was quiet more than so normal. More so than normal. The pond is full of sounds, frogs and insects most of the time, but like I said, it wasn't summer or spring, so I brushed that off as well. I had lost interest in my cookie and decided I would throw it into the grass for small critters to have a good snack. So I launched this half cookie into the grass, maybe 15 yards away. I don't have a great arm and it's half a cookie, so nothing super far away. It lands in a taller thicket of grass towards the east and from the west. I hear and see something roughly the size of a deer or person take off as soon as my cookie lands, heading straight for it. I am well versed in local wildlife and I know how deer move, but this thing moved like a person, except it was pale as paper and it had no fur at all. I can still see its spine pushing against its skin, no arch like you get with a quadruple animal pulling with its front legs. Instead, like an ape or person hunched. Its spine never straightened like it was niched over or running in an inhuman way on two legs. All I saw was the shiny, semi-reflective skin of its back, about 2 feet of it stopping at where the neck or shoulders would have started, and it had no large shoulder blades like a deer or dog or any quadruped. Instead, had a narrow chest like a sighthound or deer, but bipedal with ball and socket shoulders. Not to mention, deer don't run to things you throw in the grass. They are skittish. The second that cookie landed, both me and the dog stopped cold. I've never been frozen by fear, but I was then, and we just watched for 2 to 5 seconds as it ran from one end of the grass to my cookie, where it disappeared, and I heard it run away from me after getting or investigating the cookie. Once I couldn't hear it anymore, I immediately decided I was going back inside. The dog, however, was fixed and took a small tug of the leash to convince, but that was it. If you know small dogs, they are obnoxious and overly brave, barking at everything they don't know. But this dog never made a peep, and as soon as it realized I wanted to leave, it was in complete agreement. I am not one for the paranormal or religion, but this was something I could never explain. I know deer, and this thing was no albino hairless deer. It was something else, with this emaciated body and pale white skin. I can still remember that night in perfect detail. It still raises the hair on my neck. And then Lon puts a note here saying, we have received several reports of crawler humanoid or other human-like beings in the Chicagoland region since we started investigating the Chicago Mothman phenomenon. The Rockford area has had winged humanoid sightings as well. Yeah. Okay, so pretty creepy stuff. Those are the things as far as the cryptids go. You know, the little crawler things always creep me out, and definitely something I wouldn't want to encounter. You know, and that's exactly why I don't go looking for those things. And hats off to, you know, the ones that do. Like I told our guest yesterday, Kara, you know, you're braver than me to want to walk into a facility that potentially has entities or is haunted by something. And same thing with Bigfoot investigators and cryptid investigators that go out into these forests, into these places where you know, they're looking to encounter something, and you come across something like a crawler. Yeah, that's definitely not me and what I'm doing. So you tell me the story, let me know how it went, and then I come here to After Hours and retell the story, but I live to see another day. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's see. We have about 30 minutes left of the show. So I think we could probably get a good, strong, solid round of some trivia to end out the week. Some good spaced out trivia. And maybe we'll throw some fan questions in there that you would only know the answer to if you watch Spaced Out Radio. So if I can figure out some of those things, that part of this is on the fly. So if I can come up with a few, I'll throw them in there. But just to get this thing going. All right. Hey. Okay. We got our good jazzy music here, and you know what time it is, so get your fingers ready. Let me get myself all set up because I want to make sure that we capture this the way that it should. To Mothman, three-peated like a champ. You guys can't let him do it again tonight. Don't let him do it. He has the bragging rights. He's the first three-peat that we've had since we started doing this, so congrats to Mothman. Hands up, hats off to you, sir. And he's here. Oh, he's here, yeah. Oh, he's here tonight. Oh, he's not gonna miss. Oh, he says 4X. So this is a special night. This is our 25K night, and so this show will go down in the history. And Mothman's trying to go for 4. Let's not let him do it. Let's not let him do it. Let me get my feed up on this other device so I can monitor the YouTube chats as we do this. Deb from Sax said, "This is war." LOL. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get some of that going, right? This is war. I like that. Let's see what we get. Did we have another super chat come in? I think we did. Let me see. Okay. All right. So yeah. Obviously the volume's up. Okay. So let me go ahead and make sure the chat is set right, so I can monitor both things, do multitask, chew gum and pat my stomach at the same time, right? Okay, here we go. So it's going to be a mixture of questions, things related to space, ufology, a few different things. If we run out of these, then I have some other ones we can throw in here too. But let's go ahead and get this thing started. So we're going to start off kind of easy. You guys should all be able to jump in on this. So let me go ahead and get this going here. Okay, so question number 1, very easy. Let's start off slow. Which planet is known as the red planet? Which planet is known as the red planet? Okay. I mean, the red planet. So, and we'll do this too. Let me make this, because I know when I watch a live stream, sometimes if I rewind it or paused it, then I might be behind on the live stream. So let's make sure that you have slid your bar all the way to the right to guarantee that you are live with us, that you are completely live. And I think that would be some good advice. But Mothman does get the first one right. It is Mars. The red planet is also known as Mars. All right. So here we go. Make sure you guys are current. Make sure you're current. Welcome to the show. Wants to know, Mothman, how does he type that fast? If you're using voice to chat, that might be a cheat. You might be cheating. Yeah. Okay, so next question. What is the largest planet in our solar system? What is the largest planet in our solar system? Yeah. Tomato Man is trying to he's trying to pull a Patrick Mahomes up in here, huh? Okay, let me see. It is Jupiter. That is the answer. Jupiter is the answer. Great job, Tomato Man. It's 2-0 right now. 2-0. Okay, here we go. In 1969, humans first set foot on the moon during Apollo 11 mission. Who was the first person to walk on the moon? Yeah. Let me see who's first person. Once again, looks like it is going to be Tomato Man. Where is that coming from? Where in the world that came from? If you guys heard that. Oh, I don't know where that came from. I'm sitting there like, what in the world? Okay. Hopefully we don't get a copyright strike for whatever that was. Let me see. Let me shut out. I think it's one of these pages I have open. Let me make sure we close those. All right, next question. What is the name of the largest moon of Saturn, known for its thick atmosphere and orange coloration? What is the name of the largest moon of Saturn? Trying to see if anybody is going to answer except for Tomato Man. Let me see. Once again, he seems to be the first one to answer with Titan. Hey guys, I have no clue how he's doing this, but he is crushing it right now. Okay guys, quick fingers. What is the name of the which dwarf planet was formerly considered the 9th planet in our solar system before its reclassification in 2006? In our solar system, used to be a planet, but is no longer a planet. And that just shows you how science can change their outlook. And that's why it's not a for certain thing. You kind of have to lean on more things than just science, because they change it up all the time. And it looks like the conspiracy crackpots with Pluto is going to be the correct answer. Yeah. For those under a certain age, you never knew Pluto was a planet. It used to be a planet. Yeah, it's true. All right, great job, conspiracy crackpots. That's what I'm talking about. Let's give Tomato Man some competition here. He's running away with it. Okay, what phenomenon often associated with UFO sightings refers to the apparent motion of an object in the sky when it is observed from a moving observer? What phenomenon often associated with UFO sightings refers to the apparent motion of an object in the sky when it is observed from a moving observer? They always use this term, skeptics do, to explain why these things aren't moving as fast as we think they are. Haha. There we go. Shaq Valet steps in. It is parallax. It is parallax. Nice. Okay, so The Roswell incident in 1947 is often linked to speculation about UFO crashes. In which U.S. state did this incident occur? What U.S. state? The two ships. Yeah, you're right, Kira. Two ships. All right. Let's see what we got here. It would appear that Lex Diaz has answered this correctly with New Mexico. Roswell, New Mexico, and as Kira stated, it is two ships. As we learned that there's potentially a second crash site from that incident. Hey, Susan Kano, thanks for coming in. Just joining in. Hi, Mr. Rob G and everyone. You came right on time, Susan Kano. We're celebrating 25,000 subscribers here at Spaced Out Radio. On this Sunday, we're having a little bit of fun, little trivia. Mothman is attempting to run away with it, but I think we're getting some competition here, Susan. And maybe you're the one to come in and rain on his parade tonight. So let's just see. All right, next question. What is the study of unidentified flying objects and the potential extraterrestrial origins of these phenomena called? What is the study of unidentified flying objects and the potential of extraterrestrial origins of these phenomena called? Okay. It's like Mothman jumped in with ufology. Came in first. It is ufology, this thing that we are involved in, engaged in, is ufology. Absolutely correct. Correcto mundo. I have to keep this open here. Correct. Give me 1 second while I open my... This thing keeps timing out. Okay, so we got that. All right, next question is... Which spacecraft launched by NASA carries a golden record with sounds and images representing Earth in case it encounters extraterrestrial life? Which spacecraft launched by NASA carries a golden record with sounds and images representing Earth in case it encounters extraterrestrial life? I think we have to be a little more specific. Okay, there we go. Mothman, you got it with Voyager 1. Because we know there's more than one Voyager. Voyager 1, we know, had that golden record on it. I'm not sure about Voyager 2. But Voyager 1 is the correct answer. And... nice. Let me go ahead and take that. Okay, great, Mothman. All right. We still got a handful of questions here, so it's anyone's game, right? Okay. This one is going to be maybe a little tougher, potentially. What's the name of the brightest star in our night sky, often referred to as the dog star? What star is often referred to as the dog star? Okay, I think Lex Diaz may have this one here. Let me see. It is Sirius. Great job, Lex Diaz. Great job. Okay, and let's see. All right, what else do we have here? Okay. Which planet in our solar system rotates on its side, giving it extreme seasons? Which planet in our solar system rotates on its side, giving it extreme seasons? All right, Philip Blair. Philip Blair. It is Uranus. Uranus, however you want to say it. Depending on if you want to make a joke about it or not, it is Uranus. Uranus. Awesome stuff, Philip Blair. Okay, I did check that one. Great. Okay. So, next question. In ufology, what does the acronym UFO stand for? In ufology, what does the acronym UFO stand for? Yeah, this is like an entry level question here. Yeah, I mean this is a day one answer here. So looking at the list, it would appear that the first person to answer this one is some Mothman. UFO does stand for unidentified flying object. Great job to Mothman. Yeah, he did spell it wrong. I mean, how, I'm always... I'm torn on that one. Spelling counts. Okay, so if we're going to do that, we got to do that across the board. So, but the thing is that if you're typing fast, you can make a mistake. So it's like, I think we'll keep it. We'll keep it because I don't want one letter to cost you the answer, right? All right. So Mothman wants to hand it over to Lex. I don't have a problem with that. So let me go ahead and give that on over to Lex. Okay, nice. You solved the problem for me. Appreciate you. Let me see. Okay. This belt located between Mars and Jupiter is primarily composed of what type of celestial objects? This belt located between Mars and Jupiter is primarily composed of what type of celestial objects? Okay. Yep, Mothman got it. It is an asteroid. It's a belt consisting of asteroids. Or an asteroid belt. Correct, Mothman. Great job there, buddy. Lex Diaz, chicken nuggets. Yeah, you won't win like that, Lex Diaz. Chicken nuggets is a horrible answer. But then maybe it's not, right? Because what are chicken nuggets? Technically, right? When you think about it. Touche, Lex Diaz, touche. Alright, let's see. What do we have? Okay, here we go. This belt is in a region of the solar system beyond the orbit of Neptune, containing many small icy celestial bodies. What belt is it? This belt is in a region of the solar system beyond the orbit of Neptune, containing many small icy celestial bodies. What belt is it? All right. Looks like Lex Diaz. First answer, it is the Kuiper Belt. Hit you with the curveball there, right? It's the Kuiper Belt. But, like I say, even if you didn't answer first, as long as you now know what the answer is, then you win. You're a winner in knowledge. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we can all fall back on when it comes to this trivia, is that you're learning. Right? You're walking away knowing something you didn't know before. All right. Let's see what do we have here. Okay. You should be able to get the answer to this, but it's also an inside joke too at the same time. The SETI Institute is dedicated to the search of what in the universe? The SETI Institute is dedicated to the search for what in the universe? What is the SETI Institute supposedly searching for in this universe? All right. Lex Diaz, extraterrestrial life is what they're supposed to be searching for, even though we have them sitting right here in the sky. They overlooked that. They overlooked that to want to look past that. They want to look past our sky and search for life way out somewhere else, which never made sense to me. Never made sense. All right. Next question is okay. This equation is used to estimate the potential number of communicative extraterrestrial civilizations in our galaxy. What equation are we talking about? What equation is used to estimate the potential number of communicative extraterrestrial civilizations in our galaxy? Okay, here we go. Yes, Lex Diaz gets the answer right. Let's see. The Drake equation. Hear about it all the time. Good old Drake equation. And we're not talking about Canadian Drake. All right. So, next question is, what is the name of the first artificial satellite launched by the Soviet Union, marking the beginning of the space age? What is the name of the first artificial satellite launched by the Soviet Union, marking the beginning of the space age? All right, Mothman got it. It's going to be Sputnik. Good old Sputnik. As far as we know, right? We don't know. There's probably something before that. We don't really know. But it's been listed as Sputnik, so that is going to be the correct answer. That is going to be the correct answer. Hey there, Jim Nicholas. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Rob G. Greetings from the Albuquerque. Okay, love it. Appreciate you, Jim Nicholas. Thanks for coming on in. If you are new, welcome. We do this 7 days a week here at Spaced Out Radio, just so you know. Monday through Friday, Dave Scott from 9 p.m. Pacific until midnight. Then you'll catch the after hours, which is where you're at now, Saturday and Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific until 11 p.m. We'd love to have you back and appreciate you coming in. Thank you, Jim. All right. So next one. Let's see here. The next question is, which gas makes up the majority of the atmosphere on Venus? Which gas makes up the majority of the atmosphere on Venus? Not swamp. Not swamp gas, hot liquid magma, but I like that answer. That is funny. I do see the correct answer. That is going to be Tony D. Schooling everybody with the answer of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide makes up most of Venus's atmosphere. Boom. You just walked away with another nugget, right? To add to the collective. Love it. Okay. What is the phenomenon known as when a celestial body such as the moon partially covers the sun from the perspective of Earth? What is that phenomenon called? All right. I do see the correct answer. Lex Diaz seems to be making a strong comeback here, giving Tomahawk Man a run for his money here. And it is eclipse. It is an eclipse. Awesome stuff. Okay, let's see. Okay. Which planet is known as the morning star or evening star and is often the brightest object in the sky, in the night sky, after the moon? What planet is known as the morning star or evening star and is often the brightest object in the night sky after the moon? As my buddy Tom King said, you're always make sure you don't get screwed by Venus. A lot of people apparently mistake Venus for UFO or UAP or whatever you want to call it, right? So yeah, the answer is Venus. Yeah, I know, Christine. You guys answer before he finishes the question, and that's why I try to make sure that I don't give any clues away early in the question. So, okay, we'll do about two more here. Let's see. Okay, what is the term for the imaginary boundary around a black hole beyond which nothing can escape its gravitational pull? What is the term for the imaginary boundary around a black hole beyond which nothing can escape its gravitational pull? Ooh. Lex Diaz coming with the vengeance. It is Event Horizon. It is an event horizon. This is getting heated here, man. I love it. But everybody, if you're absorbing this data here, you are getting richer by the moment, definitely. And you are also a winner. Okay, so maybe time for two. We'll do two more, just because. Make sure we have a good balance. Okay, which mission successfully landed the first humans on the moon in 1969 as part of the Apollo program? Which mission successfully landed the first humans on the moon in 1969, according to NASA? Ooh, okay. Let's see. Yep, Apollo 11, Samart Man. That would be Apollo 11. If we're to believe the narrative that we have actually landed on the moon as humans, and we didn't film it in the studio, depending on how you look at it. Answer would be Apollo 11. Great job, Samart Man. And last question here. Let's see. Okay. The WOW signal in 1977 is considered one of the most intriguing radio signals, potentially of extraterrestrial origin. Where did it originate from? Where did the WOW signal purportedly originate from? Like, what part of space did the WOW signal originate from? Maggie and 10 the sky. I like that. Oh, don't tell me this is going to be a pass. Ooh, this might be a pass. Okay, I'll give it to you. I don't see any correct answers, so it's going to be the Sagittarius constellation, according to this. Okay, and last one. Here's the last one. The Tunguska event in 1908 is believed to have been caused by the explosion of a celestial object over which country? The Tunguska event of 1908 is believed to have been caused by the explosion of a celestial object over which country? Ooh, at the buzzer, Lex Diaz. At the buzzer, Lex Diaz comes through with the correct answer, Russia. And I don't know. So that's it for the trivia. Let's see who did what, because I think it's going to be close, or tomorrow, man, I don't know. We'll find out right now, right? Let's take a look. Lex Diaz did get the correct answer with Russia. Awesome, awesome stuff. Let's see. All right. So let's take a look here. Tamoth Man comes up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Woo! Mothman was not playing today. 9 for Mothman. The conspiracy crackpots. We got you for 1. Okay, and that was it. So we got 1 for conspiracy crackpots. We got Shaq Valet for 1. Okay, Shaq Valet got 1. Lex Diaz came through with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my God, it's a tie. It's a tie. It's a tie. We're going to have to pull one out. A buzzer question. We might go overtime here, but we're going to do it because it's 25K tonight. And let me see. Let me give everybody else their props here. Philip Blair came with 1. Who else got 1 here? We got Tony D. Came up with 1. All right, and that's it. So 9 and 9. Lex Diaz with that buzzer. With the buzzer beater, tied to Mothman at 9. So this one is just for Lex Diaz and to Mothman, whoever answers first on this. So let me make sure I'm in a position to make sure we get this right. Lex Diaz to Mothman. Let me grab one out the hat here. Ooh, this is yeah, let me see. Okay. Here we go. What paranormal phenomenon includes objects moving without any apparent physical cause? What paranormal phenomenon involves objects moving without any apparent physical cause? Haha. I think we have a winner here. I think we have a winner here. I think we have a brand new winner here. Lex Diaz. Lex Diaz is the champ tonight. Congratulations, Lex Diaz. Killed it. To Mothman, you gave it a really good try. Lex Diaz has dethroned to Mothman. Stopped the four-peat in its tracks. Now Lex Diaz is crowned the new champion here. Give it up for Lex Diaz, everybody. Great job, Lex Diaz. Great job, Lex Diaz. To Mothman, almost but no cigar. To Mothman was denied by Lex Diaz. Congratulations. Thanks, everybody. It's been fun. We've had a great time. Let me go ahead and go back in here and take a look at the fantastic super chats that we got tonight. Definitely want to thank Kira I Am for hitting us off with the 25 in recognition of Spaced Out Radio hitting 25,000 subscribers tonight. Awesome feat. It doesn't happen without you guys. Once again, we appreciate you. Jennifer Patterson, thanks for your love and your support of Spaced Out Radio. Maggie M10, thank you so much for your support of Spaced Out Radio on this special night. Deb from Sacramento, thank you for your support of Spaced Out Radio on this epic night. We killed it. We are 3. Thank you. We do see 25,000 subs. We do appreciate you. With that being said, let me go ahead and get us to get ready to get up out of here. So, space travelers, you already know how this goes here. You guys are already space travelers. Consider taking the next step and join the club. You can join the Spaced Out Radio Space Travelers Club for as little as $5 per month by joining our Patreon. We appreciate your support to all our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thanks for tuning your frequency for 25K to Spaced Out Radio, where we do what we do best as we continue to raise the bar. And what is that, you ask, guys? We own the night. You guys have a great rest of your night. Thanks for celebrating with us. Make sure you're back here tomorrow, 9 p.m. Pacific, with Dave Scott conducting the Woo Train. And I'll see you back here next weekend as we get it in. You guys all take care. Later.